to installing Chef Video 5. The objective of this video is to get a workstation running. And in my case, I want to use a Mac. So I have OSX running on this Mac. And I would like to get a workstation running on my Mac running OSX. So let's take a look at what we have to do here. I did read through this rendition that Chef has, and it's fairly generic. So this is targeted toward Linux or Windows or OSX. So it looks like this first part is important to do. Here's a Windows part if you're using Windows. And let's see, we're not using Windows. I'm going to go with the in-house server. So we're not going to use a external hosted Chef server. We have our own, which we put together in video 1 and 2 and 3. So let's go that route. And I haven't pre-scripted this or done anything with it. So there's a create a user. I have admin from video, I think 4. We have the admin user that we put in, and I want to put in a user that matches my user on this Mac, which is called jfall. So that's what I want to do. And to do that, we'll want to log into the web UI on Chef server and add another user. So I haven't scripted this video at all. I haven't tried this yet. We're just going to go through this. I've done this a few times, but not recently. So part of my making this video is to get myself warmed up to Chef again. So let's take a look at putting a user in this thing. I'm going to put my own user into Chef and see how that goes. So let's give that a try. I want to get to the Chef server to do that. And let's see how that goes. And I think we called it login. Yep, that's still there. Connection not secure. We'll do advanced. And let's add this exception here. For the cert, we're not going to store it permanently. Confirm it. Okay, I was called admin. And the password was some crazy password here we had back in the old videos. Boy, and I can't remember it. It's terrible. So I would have to check the old videos. Nope. I put this password in the command string. So let's take a look from the Chef server. Switch over to root. Now from here I can look at some of the commands I used to set up the Chef server. And we'll get that password, which is something I would never use, so I can't remember it. Okay, the password is example pass. So we need that to get on to this thing. So with that, we can log in. And I want to make myself a user for myself. So let's see how we can do that. I'm going to think it's under administration. And there's my organization, which isn't spelled right. Users. Okay, let's add one here. Select a user. How do we add it? Remove. I don't see an add on this thing. Actions. Let's see if it's there. Invite, change password. We said remove. Okay. So I wonder if we can even add users on this screen or not. Maybe not. So maybe that's something where I should have gone through this thing and scripted it instead of going ad hoc like we're doing. Okay, I find it really difficult to understand that we can't. Um, oh, here it is, create, right in front of my face. There we go. I don't want to make an organization though. Here we go, users. Invite. That's interesting. Chef username, invite user. I guess we have to do it by email, which seems kind of strange. So this thing is set up to work remotely, I'm thinking. So if this is users, all I can do is invite. Okay, so yep, let's try it. Chef username. If I add this, I'm guessing I need an email address, but let's try it. Invite, could not find user jfall. So there must be a way to add this user. Don't see it. So let's assume that we have to do a user from the command line on the chef server. That could be a reasonable assumption. I would like to do it from the GUI, but doesn't look like that's going to happen. So let's go back to our command line we had here. Okay, so yeah, we did it right here with the admin user. So let's make one that is basically me and not admin, but I want to have admin rights. So I'm going to guess that we'll do this. And I'll be an admin. I'm not sure why there are two admins here. I can put in my email here. Looks good. And I guess I could use example paths for the sake of this video. And I'll make myself my own PEM file here. That should do it. Let's see how that goes. Well, it's chomping on it. It worked. So from the command line, I've created a user. Let's see if the GUI now will show that I have a user. If I repopulate the screen, I don't see myself here under users. I guess I have to invite myself now as jfall. Let's see if that'll work. Okay, well, it sent me an invite. Close it. See if it made it out to my email or not. I don't see an invite out here on Gmail, so that's a problem. So I don't think it works. At least I'm not able to send anything out here, so. This might be a time to stop video 5 and regroup, as I did want to have my username in here, and I don't seem to get email correctly, so it's not too good. It does, okay, and I have an invite already, so it has kept track of that, And if the email doesn't go through, that's probably not a good thing for inviting a user. So that's not terribly impressive or foolproof. Let's continue. Let's log off of this thing. Could I even get on here as JFall? Example pass. Or not without an invite. Interesting. So I'm not a member. I have a pending invite. I could make a new org, or I could accept it. So isn't that nice? So it looks like I can log in as me and it works without the invite on email. So let's accept it. Jeffrey Fall, accept. No remaining invites. That's good. Close. So now if we go back to users, okay, and this is good. Starter kit. I do want to do that. Okay, look at that. So I'm an admin. There's an email for me. So that's all good. That's what I wanted. What I really wanted was the PEM file that this thing makes to use in the video we're creating here on how to put Chef Workstation together on a Mac on OSX. So that's going pretty well, wouldn't you think? So let's see if we can find the example and keep going through it. The example from Chef on how we do this. So I suppose we can keep this window open for now and just move it away and get back to this section here where we're going to install on the Mac here. Okay, so we got to make sure we have Xcode in this thing, and Xcode on the Mac is under the applications directory. So let's take a look at what we have on this thing. There's applications. We do have Xcode, so that's a good thing. And I do know we need Git on this thing, so let's take a peek at that. So if we want to run Git, I was trying this before, so I do have a bit of pre-scripting. It says, I haven't accepted the Xcode agreements. Hit the enter key to look at the license agreement. Let's do that. And we'll go through the agreement here to the end. The lawyers are pretty busy here. It's a pretty long agreement. Could we quit? Would it take it? Okay, well, here we go. Type agree. Let's agree to this thing. It's a pretty old agreement. Year old. Did it do it? Maybe. Let's type in get again. Okay, so it looks like it did run Git, and so now we have Git client on here, so we can run it. So that's what we need as part of the prerequisite for this activity. So we want to get the Omnibus installer for desired platform. So we have to know what our platform is. So I'm going to go to the Apple logo on this Apple Mac and say about this Mac. And as we can see, this is El Capitan. Note the version here, version 10.11.5. I think the 10.11 is the important part. So let's get the Omnibus installer. We do it here. Okay, here's our platforms. We're a Mac OS X. We're 10.11 as you saw. So we want this one here. And so we can save this file, which is a DMG file, which we'll install on a Mac, Chef DK development kit. We'll save it. Looks like it saved it already. Didn't take long for 105 megabytes. So we'll run this thing and it will install it by double clicking it from the Firefox browser. It's opening it up. And here's our chef kit as a package. Double click the package. Here's the installer. So let's go through this Apache license, which is good. Okay, I can continue with it. Let's agree to it. 326, I got 40 gigabytes, I'm not going to worry about space. Take the default location, let's install it. Let's put in a username and password. This will actually install it under root privileges on the Mac, so this will give us super user on the Mac for the installer, and it shouldn't have any issues. Preparing, configuring, validating, writing. It's taking some time. Right here. 2 minutes ago. I don't believe it'll take that long. It'll go pretty fast. Since this thing's an SSD, and that's probably timed for a hard drive. Okay, well, it says we have it on here. My fans are speeding up. Processor is probably getting hot. The top of the Mac is hot. Okay, let's close this thing up. Did we get, say, an application on this thing for this under the apps directory? I doubt it. Let's take a look. Apps directory, anything new in here? I don't see anything really new. So it looks like it just put code in this thing. It didn't add any new applications. So that's interesting, isn't it? What did it add? Let's close this window. We don't need it anymore. Well, we want to go back to where we were. Let's go back to our installing chef. So we run the Omnibus installer. We set system Ruby. I think once this Omnibus is in here, we can actually check it with chef verify. So let's try that. We're at a root prompt here. So let's put in chef verify. See if it'll do it. Looks like it's going through the same sequence as below. That's a good sign. So it's looking at Knife Supermarket. It's got Git. OpenSSL's in here. Kitchen, yep. Okay, so looks like our package is good. So that's verified. We have chef on this workstation. And now we want to set the system Ruby. Let's try which Ruby and see what we get. I think that OSX comes with Ruby. So we're using a Ruby that came with the Mac, which might be an old one. Ruby version 2. Darwin. That sounds kind of Mac-esque, doesn't it? So I know that we have a different Ruby in this thing from the installation of our tools from ops code. This isn't the greatest way to find it, but let's see if we can find it. We should see two different Rubies in here. I think there's one from the Mac itself, and there's going to be a Ruby that ops code put in. At least that's what I think. That's kind of going to grind away for a while. So, okay, it did find something here. Let's see. Anything with ops code. There's some Vagrant stuff in there. Oh yeah, look at that. So opt, chef, DK, embedded. So Everything goes in opt, which is good. That's interesting, isn't it? Let's localize our search down. So, yeah, there's some Ruby in there. So I suppose we could, and that's version gems 2.1. So here's the bin for it. So if we say /opt/bin, well, let's try this. We'll just grab this command here. What I want to do is check what version Ruby has shipped with this thing. So this will be our version of Ruby that's coming with our Chef development kit. And it's probably going to be higher than what's in our Mac. So this would be the path you'd want to set for your Ruby environment variable for your login. So here we see this is 2.18. Is it the same? I don't remember. Let's do the regular Ruby command. So which Ruby, user bin Ruby, that's the Mac Ruby there. And if we say now Ruby, well, we'll be explicit. User bin Ruby. Which one comes to the Mac? It is older, so yep, we're going to want to use the Ruby that comes with the OpsWare stuff. And that's what we'll do. So we want to set the system Ruby. We'll want to change our bash profile, and let's see what Mac uses here. So for that, I want to go back to being my normal self. I don't need superuser for that. And I'm back in my directory here where I live. Do we have any profiles in here? Let's take a look. Take a look. We have bash history, bash session, we have config, vagrant stuff, some Puppet stuff, because I was doing that. You can look at some Puppet videos I have on this thing too. There's no concept of having a workstation in Puppet, so let's take a look here. Config. Is there a path in here? Don't know. Doesn't look like there is. Oh, config's a directory. What am I doing here? Silly me. So the Mac uses what? Probably a config. Wireshark's in there, so we don't care about that. Well, I think this is probably a good time to stop video 5, and we'll get this thing set up for the proper version of Ruby to use for our ongoing workstation setup effort. So thanks for watching video 5. In video 6, we're going to set up our Ruby path, and we'll keep going. Our objective here is to get Knife running. Thanks for watching as usual. And take a look at video 6. We'll work on getting this workstation on the Mac set up. So for that, we'll stop 5, and thanks for watching.